Okay, today we are reading chapters 25 and 26 of Spiritual Eyes by John E. Kenney. This is the chapter where Sammy returns to his classroom, still not going back to teach just yet, but returning to the classroom he used to teach in. Monday and Tuesday are both fun days for Sam as he explores unusual places. Honestly, for the last decade, he's been locked into teaching at some level. While that has been fulfilling overall, having days ahead now with literally nothing scheduled is very refreshing, especially knowing he will be back to teach every day in a couple of weeks. Sam spends one day just walking around a big box building, supply store, not looking to purchase anything, just looking and touching everything. He spends another day walking around the local library, just looking at everything. The librarian finally goes to check on him, thinking that he may be up to no good. On Wednesday, he gets up a little late and goes to a local museum, which has several American Indian displays along with many artifacts to touch and contemplate. Even though Sam has been teaching his third grade class about the American Indian experience for years, he's never been to this local museum, which focuses on Indian life of a couple of centuries ago. Sam decides that he must bring his class to this museum as a field trip every year. After dinner on Wednesday night, Sam gets a phone call from Nicole. "Good evening, Nicole," greets Sam, sitting quietly on his couch. "Hi, Sammy. Sorry to bother you tonight, you being on vacation and all, but I wanted to make sure that you'll be joining us in class tomorrow afternoon," says Nicole in kind of a hurried way. "I'm ready and excited about being there tomorrow to see how the wigwam is developing," replies Sam. "That is so great, Sammy," cheers Nicole. "I won't keep you long. I just wanted to touch base with you." "Not a problem," says Sam. "Anything you need for me to bring to class?" "Just your phone to make some pictures is all," answers Nicole. "We have a lot of the inside done and the whole outside is finished. It is really fun to be teaching the kids in the wigwam. They are feeling a lot like Indians, or so they say." "That is very special, Nicole. That is something they won't soon forget," chuckles Sam. "So I'll see you tomorrow after lunch, okay?" "That's great. The kids are excited to see you," says Nicole. "Good night. See you tomorrow, Sammy, God willing." "Oh, is God going to be there too?" asks Sam. "Oh, God is always in our school and in our class," asserts Nicole in a happy way. "He is the reason for our success every day. Good night, Sammy." The phone line goes silent. Sam thinks to himself, Nicole always brings God into every conversation, somehow. She sees God in as way more than just important to her life than she sees God as way more important to her life than I do. Thursday morning, Sam gets ready to head over to his elementary school to visit his third grade class and experience the wigwam they've created under Nicole's guidance. Sam wonders if he will see Principal Jacobs or any of the other teachers as he visits his class. It has literally been a week since he was fired from his teaching position. So much has happened in that week. Leaving his car in the main parking lot, Sam walks into the school through the front doors. He is greeted by Ms. White, the assistant principal, as he heads towards his classroom. "It's good to see you, Sam," smiles Ms. White. "You have been missed, believe me. I, for one, am very happy to see you returning to your teaching position, but you're not supposed to be back for another week." "That's correct, but Nicole wanted me to come in and visit the kids and see the progress that they've made on building the wigwam in the classroom," explains Sam, walking towards the old classroom. "Oh, that's great. I'm glad that Nicole is so sensitive to the needs of her students," praises Mrs. White. "She is a special teacher, and her students are eager to have her back." "Yes, she is a very gifted teacher," agrees Sam, "and she always sees things that I miss. And she would say that it's not her, but God working through her, right? Laughs Mrs. White. Enjoy your visit, and we'll see you for real next week. Can't wait. Thanks, Ms. White, replies Sam, heading down the hall toward his classroom. Arriving at his classroom, Sam pauses with his hand on the door. He knows they're back from lunch because they're excitedly talking in the classroom. Then Sam enters the room to cheering from his students. We are so glad to see you, Mr. Waycross, greets Samantha Breen, giving him a big hug. Yes, we have really missed you, shouts Tyler, as he and several other students hug Mr. Waycross happily. Everyone is excited to see Mr. Waycross, and he's almost dragged over to the wigwam to see all that's done. Everyone is explaining each new detail at the same time, making this a joyous scene. We've been waiting a long time to show you what we've done, Mr. Waycross, says Alex, pulling him towards a window in the wigwam wall. This window is made from deer hide. That's very accurate to the way the Indians built their houses, Alex. Cheers, Mr. Waycross. Great job. Mr. Waycross, we are so sorry that you've been sick, but Ms. Grump has kept us focused on our schoolwork and getting our wigwam finished, says a smiling Brenda. Mr. Waycross looks questioningly at Ms. Grump. She just shrugs her shoulder. Mr. Waycross stays with the class until the closing bell, dismissing the students as they go home. He says goodbye to each one of them as they leave. This has been a fun day. Chapter 26, Unexpected Trouble. After the kids are all gone for that day, Sam stays to help Nicole pick up the floor and straighten out the tables. Thanks for coming in today, Sammy. I know this was a sacrifice, but the kids were so looking forward to seeing you, says Nicole. This was a good day for them. Well, I'm glad to be here. It was certainly fun to interact with the kids again, replies Sam, looking at Nicole. But what was all that about me being out sick? That wasn't even close to the truth. No, Principal Jacobs came into the classroom and explained to the kids that you had become sick somehow and were recuperating at home, explains Nicole. And you went along with that? That was a lie, which I imagine some of the kids noticed, counters Sam. I really don't mind management trying to make up a story that makes them look good. That's what they've always done. But you? How does that square with your Jesus stuff, Nicole? It doesn't square with Jesus or the truth, admits Nicole. I didn't tell the kids that story nor agree with it when Principal Jacobs told it. Still, I did not deny it either, and I'm not proud of that. So honestly, Nicole, why didn't you reject his story, his obvious lie? Asks Sam, unsure now of where Nicole really stands with her Jesus. Principal Jacobs told me I could either play along with the official story or leave, replies Nicole, looking at Sam with pleading eyes. I chose to play along to stay with the class. I love these kids, and I think I'm a benefit to them. See, this is why I don't get involved in church and all that old stuff, snaps Sam, looking sadly at Nicole. It's an illusion, even a lie, and I don't have the energy to keep up with all of that. But Sammy, how can you explain God working in your life last week in such a miraculous way? Cries Nicole, looking defeated. He did amazing things. It was a miraculous thing to experience. I know you felt him. I guess what I experienced was just dumb luck, growls Sam, looking sad. And it was really Mr. Brown who convinced Principal Jacobs to agree to something undesirable to avoid suffering a greater loss. It was just bad stuff happening to us, like always. Nothing has changed. Oh, Sammy, I'm so sorry to be part of this, but I am glad to have experienced the miracle that happened to you and to these kids, says Nicole, crying a little. There is certainly good and bad in this life, and we all get some of each. but I know God is reaching out to you. You are going to wind up in the kingdom of heaven one day. I just know that. You're a little delusional, my friend, but you are also one of the good people. So I'm just going to live with it, says Sam, walking towards the door of the classroom. I am so glad you had me come here today. I needed to see my kids. I needed to remember who I really am. I'll be back, but I won't be part of the lie. Sorry. Sam is very conflicted as he leaves the school, heading home. He's glad to have seen his students, but also sorry to be part of a lie. Arriving home, he just sits in his chair for a while. He sits in his car for a while, pondering how mean life can be. Not feeling comfortable to go inside just now, Sam drives over to the mall and just begins walking around. As he's passing an inviting bookstore, he hears his name being called out from somewhere behind him. Turning around, he sees Mrs. O'Brien walking towards him with an armload of packages. Oh, hi, Mrs. O'Brien. Looks like you've been doing some shopping, laughs Sam, offering to take a couple of her packages. Thank you, Mr. Waycross. I didn't expect to see you today. Are you feeling better now? Asks a concerned Mrs. O'Brien. Oh, I'm feeling just fine, yes, smiles Sam. Would you like for me to help you carry some of these packages to your car? Actually, I would appreciate that, but I still need to go to one more shop before I leave, answers Mrs. O'Brien. If you aren't in a hurry, could I just leave these packages here on this bench for a few minutes for you to watch? I would be so grateful. Well, sure, that's fine, agrees Sam, sitting down to the bench near the bookstore. Pile them on here. I'll just watch over them for you. I'm not ready to go home yet, so this will be just fine. Thank you so much, Mr. Waycross, says a thankful Mrs. O'Brien. I won't be long, I promise. As Mrs. O'Brien hurries to her last shopping stop, Sam checks his phone for any calls. He sees 4 calls, which are more than usual. The first call is from Mr. Brown, the union rep. The second is from Nicole. Neither leave a message. The third is from Ms. White with a message, and the fourth is from Nicole again, this time with a message. Sam listens to the message from Nicole first because it may be friendly. He listens to her very anxious voice. Sammy, I'm so sorry. Principal Jacobs came to my classroom to ask me some questions about you. He said he's going to bring you up on charges and use me as a witness against you. I am so sorry, Sammy. I don't want to hurt you in any way. Please call me soon. Well, that was not a good message. Sam doubts that the message from Ms. White will be any better, and he's right. Ms. White says, Mr. Waycross, I am warning you of what Principal Jacobs is planning to do. He feels he's found charges against you that might stick, so he's going to have the school's attorney process legal action against you. I can't tell you anything, but I did want to warn you so that you can contact your union rep. So sorry that this is happening. It seems that the principal has it out for you for some reason. Good luck. Oh, thank you so very much, Mr. Waycross, for watching my stuff, says a hurried Mrs. O'Brien, trotting over to the bench. Not a problem. My pleasure, says Sam with very little enthusiasm. I'll help you carry them to your car. Thank you so much, answers Mrs. O'Brien. You're the best. Did 2 carry enough packages to fill a UPS van? Well, maybe not, but there were certainly a lot of packages. Sam helps Mrs. O'Brien load them into her car, and off she goes. Sam heads to his car, gets in, but before starting his car, he tries calling Mr. Brown. Afternoon, Mrs. Brown, says a harried Mr. Brown. How can I help you? Hello, Mr. Brown. This is Mr. Waycross returning your call from earlier, says Sam. Oh, hi, Mr. Waycross. Thank you for calling me back, breathes a more relaxed Mr. Brown. I was certainly hoping not to be talking to you again anytime soon, but something has come up. Yeah, I received a call from Miss Grump and from Ms. White from my school, reports Sam. I was there today to visit my kids. They were sure glad to see me. I guess the same can't be said for Principal Jacobs. Yes, I kind of wish you'd stayed away from the school for the full 2 weeks of leave that they gave you, allowing him to maybe forget the incident. Anyway, Principal Jacobs' attorney called me this afternoon to let me know that they are pressing charges tomorrow against you. Did he say what the charges are? Asked Sam, really curious. No, but he said that there were 6 charges against you. I will be getting my copy tomorrow in person, explains Mr. Brown. If they can find you, they will serve you with papers tomorrow also. So you may need to hire an attorney, Mr. Waycross. I will meet with you as soon as I know what the charges are. We will be, we will see what transpires. Can I meet with you tomorrow, Mr. Brown? Asks a concerned Sam. No, and if I were you, I'd lay low for a few days, suggests Mr. Brown. They don't need to find you right away. The principal may just be angry. Some lapsed time might allow him to cool down. It certainly cost him some legal fees, which may not have. So where should I go? Asks a now concerned Sam. Sorry, Mr. Waycross, I cannot advise you about that, replies Mr. Brown. When I get my copy of the charges tomorrow, I will research them and call you with what I think you should do. Good night. Well, next we will go to chapter 27 and 28. Things kind of turned a little bit to the left just there, didn't they? Thank you for listening. See you next time.